Welcome back to the party, everybody. Today we've got Come As You Are for Grunge Psycho, and I always know I'm on the right track when I say the name Justin Taylor. But before we begin, I would like to extend a most insurmountable amount of thanks to Mr. Steve Fabietti and Scoliosis' son for signing up for the Patreon Supporter of the Cause Club. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your support. And if you would like to contribute to the clanging and the banging around here, the link, of course, will be in the description. But of course, as is often the case round these parts, your guitar is not in standard tuning, it's one whole step down. So it's like detuning a half step, but even a half step lower than that. So instead of Eddie 8 Dynamite Goodbye Eddie, you will have D, G, C, F, A, and D. But if that's too much trouble for you, just play it in standard tuning. It'll work great. You just can't play along with Nirvana or me right now. One more thing before we get going. I want to explain that thing that happens in your brain when you listen to Come As You Are like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the drums go crash, and they crash on that upbeat, the thing you thought was the upbeat, and you have to reevaluate your whole life for a few beats while you regain where the new groove is. That's because this song doesn't start 1, 2, 3, 4, bum, 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 even though there's no reason to know it when the song starts, because there's no indication of where the first beat is. This song starts like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Now notice how different those two things sounded. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3. Absent any knowledge of where a downbeat or an upbeat is, those two riffs are 100% the same. The difference comes in your interpretation of what's a downbeat and what's an upbeat. So I want you to practice listening to the song the way it is. 1, 2, 3. 1. And if you do that, you will notice that there won't be a, life-altering thing that happens when the drums come in, and you will see that it always has been the same thing the whole time. Of course, I'm going to call the strings what they've always been called so we don't go crazy here for two reasons today. E string, open, 1, 2. Open A, E2, open A. E string, 2, 2, 1, open, A2, open E twice. So, open, 1, 2, open, 2, open, 2, 2, 1, open, 2, open. Practice that until you're comfortable. Repeats just like that, except only the first time is the first note, the open E string. Every other time, thenceforth, the first note is the A string 2nd fret. So instead of, you will have, here we go. Wait, 1, 2, 3. The particular way that the pre-chorus sounds to the particular way that Kurt Cobain used to make his chords. Coming out of the verse, that chord butts in at that spot, and you're just going to take any finger, preferably your finger, and smash it down on the A, the D, and the G string 2nd fret. The trick here is we also want to hear the open B and the open E strings, so you might find it easier to use 3 fingers there, and that's completely fine. Kurt always used 1 finger, but followed by an F sharp chord, Kurt Cobain style. We're going to have 2 all the way across with your pointer finger, and then your ring finger is going to get 4, 4, 4 on A, D, and G. The trick again here is we want to hear the B and the E strings on the 2nd fret, so your ring finger knuckle might go a little red trying to bend backwards to accommodate that. You could use 3 fingers if you want. As tricky as that is to get to in the moment, that might be a little easier here. Followed by regular old A. So we got evident that that part is pickup notes and not something that starts on the first beat of the first measure. By the way, I perused some live versions, namely Live at Reading and Unplugged in New York, of course, and in those versions he didn't do the 2 4 4 4 2 2 thing. He did 2 4 4 4 open open. So there's another option for you to consider. I think I prefer that one. But I'm 9,142% sure that on the record it is 2 4 4 4 2 2 for the record, and PPS, all the live versions I perused were 1 half step higher than this tuning, so regular, half step down, detuned. Or if you don't want to mess with all that, just play an F sharp power chord and an A power chord. Just as good. And I swear that I don't have a gun, we'll call that the chorus, starts with the same horrible Kurt Cobain F sharp bar chord shape we've been doing, but 1 string towards the floor, which just makes it a normal major bar chord, a B1, mind you, starting on the A string, 2 4 4 4, and now you can either go up 3 frets with this same shape to 5 7 7 7, that's a D chord, or you can just do what Kurt does and play regular D. So it depends if you prefer to stay in this tricky shape but not have to change it, or have a rest from the tricky shape but have to get back to it as you go B, D, B, D over and over and over again, coming out of the previous part. Back and forth, and again, if you don't want to bother with that chord shape, just play the power chords. That works just as well. Which brings us to the solo. G string, 6th fret, 9, 11, 3 times, and then you bend that G string 11th fret, and when you do, you hear that open B string sloppily ring out, and when you unbend it and play it regular, that B string kind of naturally disappears, back down to 9, repeat, 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 like 42 times. This is interesting, and you can totally disregard this detail if you want, but in the last chorus, the one that starts at 2 minutes and 48 seconds, on the B chord, I also hear that open E string chime in. So do your bend your knuckle backwards trick so that your E string is unperturbed by your ring finger. But the last chord of the song might just be the best chord of the song. It's Kurt Cobain F sharp, but with the open B and E strings. So awesome. Those are all the pieces to Come As You Are by Nirvana. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful, and I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.